Hello everyone, and welcome back to the worst channel on YouTube. I'm, as always, Matt Novum, and I run this channel. And naturally, I want to be successful on this platform. And while I haven't found too much success yet, it got me wondering, how does one make it on here? So I started researching some trends, and I thought I'd just share my findings and a little theory that I came up with. So most people don't know, but I actually have a degree in applied math. That's my day-to-day job. I do a lot of research with numbers and statistics and handle a lot of data. So I think that I'm uniquely suited for this task in many ways. But I also think I'm suited to this task because I'm not afraid to ask difficult questions or even look at possibly unethical means of success. So with that said, I started trying to look at successful channels to see what they had in common. And I found 3 very distinct markers of success. These marks are 1, attractiveness, 2, controversy, and 3, uniqueness. I'll get into these in a minute, but first I want to talk about an interesting phenomenon in human psychology that is often a difficult topic to address: being a leader versus a follower. See, everybody wants to say that they're a leader, and some people are, for sure, but the vast majority of people have a group mentality when it comes to adopting behaviors or habits. In other words, they're a follower. And there's nothing wrong with being a follower. The majority of people are, and in many ways we're all followers. It's not a bad thing, and I'm not passing any judgment on it. It's just a lot of people have this in their mental makeup. This also includes the entertainment they consume. Essentially, if something is unpopular, most people are less likely to enjoy it. The peer pressure of knowing something is unpopular scares most people away from forming their own unique opinion on it, and they will simply go with the popular one. This is how mobs can form, how videos can go viral, and how social media influencers can be quote-unquote canceled with some kind of controversy or problem. It's simply mob mentality or groupthink, and this rules over the internet where there is a lot of anonymity. But what does this have to do with a growing YouTube channel? Well, it has one important ramification. A recent study showed that, consistently, viewers vastly preferred a video with 4,000 views versus the identical video with 0 views. This also extends into subscriptions. One would think that no one would hesitate to subscribe to something they like on YouTube because it's completely free to subscribe, but this simply isn't the case. The more subscribers a channel has, the more likely someone is to subscribe to it. This is not just because the algorithm pushes your channel higher, but instead it's more about the psychology of things. I'm sure every one of us can think of a video we've seen on a teeny tiny channel that, no matter how enjoyable the video may have been, we decided to pass up on subscribing to the channel. This is because we tend to think, in our own words, well, maybe if it gets more popular in the future, I'll subscribe. But right now, it must not be very good because it only has, say, 30 subscribers. I don't want to waste my time on that. Conversely, when we see a channel with a ton of subscribers, we think, wow, I might as well subscribe now because apparently they're doing well and I want to jump on the bandwagon. And besides, I'll just melt into a sea of nameless faces, so I'll still remain anonymous. This type of thinking permeates just about every internet user, with a few exceptions, of course. And this is a giant hurdle one must overcome in order to get the ball rolling on views and subscribers. So how is it that some people are able to do this while others can't? There are, of course, many ways that you can do this. You can try and do clickbait by making, catchy titles and thumbnails. The strategy behind this is, of course, you'll maximize the clicks on your videos, and the more people click, the higher chance there is of them subscribing. Oftentimes, though, this strategy doesn't work because the problem is you just don't get very much watch time, and the more watch time you have, the higher you get pushed in the algorithm. So while you may have an initial burst of views, you're really not going to get that many in the long run, and it's just going to hurt your channel. So that's why a lot of YouTube creators have moved away from clickbait, because even though it may give you a temporary boost, it just doesn't help over time. Then there's advertising, which also brings in more views, but the chance of someone subscribing from an ad is very low. And it's even less in the instance of it being an ad because people have become very distrustful of ads and anything that might be promoted. So someone may click on your video and watch it from an ad that you've created, but the chance of them actually subscribing to your channel after that is actually lower than if they had found the video naturally. Another strategy that YouTube can implement is creators have the ability to hide the number of subscribers they have on their channel so that, this factor doesn't come into play. But this has been shown time and time again to have detrimental effects on the channel because potential subscribers either think that there are 0 subscribers because they can't see any, or they think that there's something to hide. And in this case, there kind of is. The only thing that we're hiding in this instance, though, is just how many subscribers we currently have because we're trying not to sway people's opinions. But, people are smart and they'll figure it out sooner or later that, oh, you're hiding your number of subscribers, you must not have that many, and then you're just right back in that same boat where people just don't want to subscribe. And hiding the number actually makes it less likely that they'll subscribe because, again, they may either think that there are 0 subscribers, or they may just be like, wow, they must not be doing very well, I don't want to subscribe. The fourth possible solution to this is maybe one that people thought of initially because it's kind of controversial, but this is to buy an initial subscriber base. And these are not subscribers you buy to gain views from. That's something that a lot of beginning YouTubers kind of forget, is that if you buy subscribers, they aren't active. They're not going to watch your videos. They aren't actually going to participate. But the whole point is just to give the illusion of being successful. And if you buy subscribers with that in mind, it can actually be somewhat helpful. That's what I've noticed over time, is that if you create good content and you buy subscribers to begin with, you can overcome the psychological hurdle and start gaining actual legitimate subscribers. Because, people think that, oh, you've got a few thousand, you must be doing okay. I'll take a look, I'll subscribe. Now, the problem with this is it's unethical. It's a trick for sure, and definitely frowned upon by YouTube. Because if they find out about it, they will demonetize you. But it does happen, and honestly, if you can get away with it, buying an initial lot of subscribers like this can certainly help boost the channel's growth in the long term, again, because you're appearing to be legitimate and appearing to have a large subscriber base, which helps other people want to join and actually watch your content as well. Now, I will say buying views is a completely different story. Buying views is really not very helpful for anybody, but I may cover that in a later video. But there are channels out there that have just spontaneously succeeded naturally, so what about these is different? They haven't participated in any of the above scenarios, so this is where we get to the 3 characteristics that I was talking about earlier. These 3 overcome that psychological hurdle. The first characteristic is attractiveness. What I mean is there are YouTubers who are so attractive that they naturally overcome our groupthink hesitation when it comes to subscriptions. This is because we think this person is so attractive, it doesn't matter what they're talking about, I just want to watch them. So I'll subscribe even if I'm the only one. And honestly, this is just a slightly different version of the old adage, sex sells. It's the same reason why boy bands are successful, for example. They are attractive young men, and so teenage girls want to look at them. They maybe make okay music. I'm not saying they're untalented musically. I'm just saying that they aren't breaking any records and being, earth-shattering musicians. They're just good to look at. They're eye candy. Same thing here with some YouTubers who make somewhat mediocre content. Again, I'm not saying their content is necessarily bad, but it's not earth-shattering. But they're attractive enough to where people just subscribe to watch them. There are many YouTubers like this who have succeeded mainly due to their looks. 3 examples that I can think of off the top of my head are Joey Graceffa, Collins Key, and Dr. Mike, also known as Mikhail Varshavsky. Now, before anyone comes for me, please know again that I don't mean this as an insult. I'm not saying that these 3 creators don't have any form of talent, but what I'm saying is that their talents are not very unique. For example, there are literally thousands of daily vloggers, just like Joey Graceffa, hundreds of kids channels like Colin's Key, and loads of doctors that could do just what Dr. Mike does. But these YouTubers succeeded because they're attractive. While there may be thousands of other people who do what they do just like they do, the YouTube community selected these people specifically, and on these 3 creators' channels, if you look at their comments, you'll see that a large portion of them are about how hot they are, or, you know, how sexy they are, that kind of thing, and very little about the actual content. And before anyone points that out in the comments, yes, I thought of 3 attractive male YouTubers and couldn't think of a female one. So in case it isn't completely obvious yet, I will confirm it. Yes, I'm gay. But that doesn't mean that there aren't female YouTubers who just try and succeed on their looks. I just don't know of any off the top of my head. Okay, so attractiveness is the first trait that can overcome that groupthink limitation. And the second one is controversy. This one might be something that you thought of initially, and it's what a lot of people think of when it comes to successful social media people. There are many YouTubers who are successful merely because they've been involved in drama or controversy. People subscribe to them merely to see what they'll do next, hoping to be involved in the next meltdown. These YouTubers also make pretty standard content, but with the added twist of drama, and this propels them into success. These are the names that are probably the most famous, such as Tana Mojo, Onision, and Jake Paul. While this strategy tends to be pretty reliable and almost every bit of drama that occurs ends up making the subject tons of money and gaining them tons of followers, it tends to create fatigue and burnout pretty quickly. For example, Onision's channel is pretty much almost dead, and if you're watching this, you may not even know who Onision is. That's how irrelevant he's becoming, because people are just tired of talking about him. Therefore, the drama route appears to be the brightest and fastest burning route to success when it does work, but it's just not very sustainable, so I wouldn't suggest it, but, you know, some people might be able to do it. The third and final route to overcoming this hesitation to subscribe and follow is to be unique. This is the hardest to achieve and define, but is honestly the most reliable. I think the standout example of this type of success is Jenna Marbles. Please note that this is not to say she isn't attractive, and it doesn't mean that she hasn't had drama. It just merely means that her success has relied primarily upon her uniqueness. Nobody but her can provide the content she provides. She's a trendsetter, and because of this, people will be willing to subscribe because this is the only place where they can find that type of content. Another example of a YouTuber relying on uniqueness is Call Me Kevin. He's a gamer, of which there are thousands on YouTube, and before he found his unique spin on gaming, he had a fairly mediocre channel. Again, that's not saying he's untalented or anything, but the market was just saturated with generic Let's Play channels. This is until he started playing games badly. That's his entire character now. He's a Let's Player who is absolutely terrible at every game, but he doesn't realize it. Clearly he's playing a character because we've seen him do other things, but I mean, that's his entire channel now, is just him playing games badly and pretending that he's good at them. This is a unique trait, and therefore the people who find this entertaining, they subscribe and they stick around for it because they can't go to some other channel and find the exact same thing. So that's my theory on how success works on YouTube. I don't see any other reason that the mental block that I described above might be overcome other than these 3, and I've studied quite a few channels and tried to take a look at what makes them successful. Channels that I both like and don't like, and that's pretty much the only 3 that I see. The other routes to success that are quote-unquote cheating, such as buying subscribers or turning off your subscriber number, that kind of thing. You know, those happen, I'm sure, but I don't have specific concrete examples. And as I did say, buying subscribers could be helpful for a small channel in the beginning. But did I really mean that? Well, all I can say is stay tuned, as I may have ran an experiment on this too. But this video is already getting long, so I'm going to cut it off now. So I wanted to thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below on my theory on what makes a YouTuber successful? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, I really do want other people's opinions. I like to have conversations in the comments. I'm not just looking to boost my videos, but, you know, again, I do want my video boosted, so if you do too, make sure to leave a comment. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please do consider subscribing. Even though I don't have very many subscribers, I'm planning on growing, and I do try to post once a week. So, you know, hit that subscribe button, even though I'm not attractive, controversial, or unique in any kind of way. So, yes. Thank you for checking out the worst channel on YouTube, and as always, I'm Matt Novum, and I hope you have a great day.